Hello everyone, I'm back again. Hope this debate is as exciting as yesterday's. And soon we'll also have more people coming in. But meanwhile, I've put a poll on the same Telegram group as yesterday. And you can just open it and give your vote as we start to see where do we stand even before we start this debate. Yeah, we just started. We are just taking a look at the poll right now. Meanwhile, let's have volunteers. Whoever is for either standing for new apps or ERPNext, please come up on the stage. Even Frappe team should come up on the stage. Okay, let's at least have the people who are already here. Would be great if you can introduce yourself and then which side are you on? ERPNext on that side and new apps on the left.
My name is Hamza. I'm from Standard Touch, and definitely I am on that side. So I'll give the mic to Rishabh, and I think you'll stay here only.
Konsa, you are what for ERPNext?
Yeah, ERP. I'm on here. A few other people.
Hi, I'm Rahul. I'm just using ERPNext and some of the new Frappe apps. I'm definitely on the ERPNext side.
Hello everyone. So I'm Nasir. I'm once again back to fight and I'm on ERPNext side this time.
Yeah, I know you guys know where I am, but I mean, why is that even a question? Like, why not everything?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, given the topic on the poll by the way was different, where should Frappe heavily invest in? And I'm on the side of new apps. While ERPNext is again, I've seen it growing. It's not either or, but yeah, new apps is something we should definitely invest in. So I'm on this side.
I'll quickly flash the QR code again. In case people haven't joined the Telegram group, you can scan this, join the group, and be a part of the debate. And we would love to have more volunteers who feel heavily or passionately about this topic. Please come up
guys,
on the stage.
this side, the left side. I think with the co-founders on one side, we need more people on this side.
Hello, I am
Voting
Abel
is on our side, right? Yeah.
from Spain. And
Mujir
I'm
bhai, that is
on the new apps.
you should
side.
come here. Don't be on.
Let's have a quick introduction. We'll go with Ahmed.
As I said, I am Abel from Spain, new partner with Frappe. I've been using Frappe since 2014, I think. ERPNext, but in this case, I'm on the new apps side.
Great.
I am Mujir Hashmi. My company's name is 4C Solutions. We do implementations in ERPNext. Yes, for today and because of today.
And I think that is only because of what do you say? The last studio. You can come here. Studio is something else. Studio is a part of ERPNext.
Let's get started. Same format. Please share one, 30 seconds to 1 minute, and then we'll move to the next side. And meanwhile, anybody interested to join, just join along.
Yeah. So, look, I have this very strong feeling. There is a disclaimer before I start speaking. This is with due respect to everybody who is making those apps. I don't mean anything personal to it, but I will be talking somewhat specific also. And as Jannat mentioned, means haters are going to hate. So it's but still, we are going to do what we are. But here it's going to be a bit different. It's not like we are not going to tell you what to do, or this is just our idea. So what my idea is about is like the most unique thing about this conference or why people are over here is ERPNext. So the whole ecosystem grew because of ERPNext. And what I feel now is, look, ERPNext was unique. ERPNext is open source. And there is no other open source like ERPNext with a fake fake open source ERP like Odoo we have. So the most important thing is, like, we are creating apps like LMS and then slides and then Drive. So somewhere we are reinventing the wheel where we have other open source tools. Just to give an example, we have Moodle for LMS. We have slides. We have another open source tool. We have LibreOffice. So there are so many alternates that we have. And Frappe has one of the best developers in the world, to be very frank, because one developer is handling one product. One developer is handling one product. Just imagine if all these developers were somewhere contributing to ERPNext, then ERPNext would have been somewhere we cannot even imagine. It would have SS module, MD, all those modules. SAP would have come and said, Rishabh, please stop making all these. We don't want all these. You guys need to stop. So if we have to develop ERPNext. And once ERPNext develops, the whole community actually, I think, develops. And after we are enough developed or matured enough, I think certain tools can come. And I'm not against all tools. Like HR is a part of the ERPNext module. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Great start. Let's move to the next side.
How I see this is basically the very first definition thing I would set across is what is Frappe, and what is supposed to do. Frappe is not just an ERP product company. It's a technology company is how I see it. It's not even a software company, I would say. It's basically building a technology which helps you build more products. And that's how much before actually ERPNext came into being. I think Rishabh had started Frappe framework, and that's actually an underlying power along with open source in the ERPNext also. So ERPNext is basically how we started a journey because we had the domain knowledge, and there were some use cases, and I mean it just started very I think naturally. But with time, and in this journey, I think I've seen lots of side experiments. It's not that we are making these side projects only now. All these years, there's been lots of side projects which eventually impacts our core offering, right? So it's very important. Being a technology company, you should basically experiment and delve and give the environment for the developers to research and build new platforms and everything. And eventually, commercialization is not even there. I mean, at this point of time, but exploration on the technology side itself is very important. And we being a technology company, providing a complete tech stack and open source tech stack for the business is also a vision. And support that also, I think there should be multiple products which should be made. Yeah, so Frappe as a technology company should be there, and eventually, and why not so much on ERPNext side is basically ERPNext needs lots of context. I have time, I suppose. When it comes to warehouse management, right? We being at Frappe office, it's very important for us to basically understand what are the best warehouse management practices. How to categorize item based on fast moving, valuation, weight, and whatnot, and how to basically keep those items in shelf. I'm just kind of giving an example, but those development of those software actually need lots of context and the product expertise also, and that is there out there. So what we have given with ERPNext is actually a platform using which community should actually make those very domain specific application. And again, we have made actually a marketplace, right? We made a marketplace wherein people can contribute those applications, which is again happening. We have seen some fantastic presentations in last 2 days. So eventually, I think ecosystem is feeding into it. Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Umer. I think there's a request made for Nabeen to join the debate as well. 80-20 nahi hai? 50-50. I think it's not your network issue. It's already 50-50.
आ जाओ we need lead.
आजा
Okay, let's move to the next point.
Yeah, so I'm literally in the middle, like on the stage and in this position. So I like new apps, but I really wish them to spin off out of ERPNext in a way that when we bundle them together, we get the ERPNext back. For example, somebody starts, it's a new CRM, and then they add HRMS, and then one day they decide to just use the whole ERPNext, they should be able to do that. For that to happen, new app should be mindful of ERPNext. And in morning we saw Frappe CRM, right? It has this nice integration with ERPNext, where when you won a deal, it automatically creates a customer. Immediately a question came to my mind: what if the deal is coming from existing customer? For that, my CRM workflow has to start with a customer record which is already in ERPNext. And this is where the divide is happening. This is where I believe that ERPNext should be thought as a first class data source, single source of truth for all the new apps. I understand that new apps are easy for user to start with. ERPNext is daunting to set up for somebody, especially who only wants CRM or HRMS. But then the true power is ERPNext. It's a final destination for any business. As a company ourselves, we have switched many CRMs, many HRMS, many of all category of software. It's only when we found ERPNext, it's like all ends leads to this. Like this is a final destination, and that's why I feel ERPNext should not be pushed back with this rise of new apps.
Thank you. So basically, your point is better interoperability from day one and somewhere in the middle of both, right? Invest in new apps which are more interoperable.
But make it work. Make sure it works with ERP. Make
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
those new apps works with
Works with
ERPNext.
ERPNext.
Hi guys. See, the reason why I purposefully mentioned that I am on this side for today and because of today is the reason of this exact integration, which seems to be very promising, and we have seen it happening today, be it Frappe CRM or be it help desk. Okay. So now we can see whatever that Frappe framework gives, that unified experience of UX across different modules in ERPNext, is coming through these new apps with a grand look and grand functionalities as well. So we have seen that there are domain specific apps in the market which cater to one particular use case very efficiently. So sometimes in ERPNext we have seen that is not happening. But now with CRM and stuff like helpdesk also, we see that they are very domain specific, handling all that they promise for that particular domain, And on top of that, we are able to see all those Frappe framework kind of a customization pitching in now. So that is very promising. And now with Frappe Studio, it has gone to another level where even you and me, who used to develop applications, custom applications, can develop applications in a similar way. So you also are going to get that, give that unified experience to your end customers. So that is exactly the reason why I'm on this side.
Thank you.
I am also standing in the middle of the stage. So it also reflects my opinion as well. So if we see, Frappe started something as very unorthodox. And Frappe is still very unorthodox. And building new apps, even though they might not have much application, but it fosters innovation. And I believe that ERPNext is also a product of innovation. Okay, but now, while innovation is good, we have one core product, and that is our USP, unique selling point. And what I feel is that now, since there's a lot of focus on the Frappe ecosystem, there is a neglect on ERPNext. So that is problematic because that is the daily driver, and that is what is actually powering Frappe and the Frappe ecosystem. So while I believe there should be innovation, there should be new apps, ERPNext should not be abandoned or should not be on the back seat, but rather on the front seat. And these things will be assisting them. And like Rahul mentioned, that all these developments should integrate or actually should start from ERPNext, and it should not be something very standalone. And that's it.
Thank you.
Hello. I see this as well. I'm gonna tell you a story. Actually, I see this ERPNext. I think ERPNext has been the water that made today Frappe the strong tree it is, and it's now time to see the green leaves spread on the branches. So I've been using Frappe since 2014, as I told you before, and like ERPNext, and I've been asking God every day. I would like to have this app or this function. We've been building apps with Frappe, with ERPNext. We've been creating doc types and making applications with our own means. But for example, the apps you released today, like Frappe Mail, Frappe Studio, and all that, is gonna make ERPNext stronger than ever. Because before we had to go outside the ecosystem to provide our customers solutions that we can provide now with Frappe, and that's amazing, and that's gonna make ERPNext stronger than ever. That's my opinion.
Thank you.
Okay. So again, like yesterday, today is a trick question that they have asked. Where should Frappe invest, right? Definitely in the future. But what is ERPNext? My definition for ERPNext is anything, any process, that helps business streamline its workflows. Okay, so that is ERP for me, or ERPNext for me. So if Frappe is, investing in framework, HRMS, be it the CRM, this is ERP for me. This is the ERPNext for me. It's improving the business workflows. And that's why I feel that Frappe should heavily invest in ERPNext. Thank you.
Thank you, but that was very confusing. Okay, next.
Again, I think it's very hard to change people's mind. Again, I am from the losing side, but in the end, we need Safan here to convince people. So I'm the biggest culprit on the new app side, and every time something happens, I think I get a lot of firing inside Frappe. Like, why are you stealing my developer? Naveen is there. Dipesh, I don't know where is Dipesh. Dipesh is there, and Ankush, and a lot of other people, right? And recently we had Soham. Soham is one of our early members here, and Soham joined, and he was very excited to work on, say, some new application he's working on. And then when he joined, everybody in the office ganged up on me and said, every new engineer has to work on ERPNext for 1 year, right? they were trying to force that, and I realized, and then Swam, when he, so there was a week before he was supposed to join, and when he joined, I told him, dude, you have to work on ERPNext because that's the orthodoxy has taken over, and you will join. And then he said, but I'm already working on the POC, right? I mean, even before joining, he had started working on the application we had chatted about. And I said, he wants to work on this, right? Why should we force somebody to work on something they don't want to work on, right? I mean, it's like Frappe doesn't decide what developers should work on. Somehow the community needs to motivate Frappe developers to work on ERPNext, right? I mean, it's and you know, maybe Nabin needs to work harder to maybe needs to be here on the stage and defend ERPNext as well, right? So even Dipesh is sitting there. So yeah, fight for it, right? I mean, if you want people to work on ERPNext, fight for it.
That was nice, Bishop. So I was not here. So my introduction, I'm founder of Automate CRM, and I have a background from another open source platform called as vTagger, an open source CRM. So open source is really great. And what I feel is if we are focusing on a specific domain solution like ERP and stuff like that, or CRMs for the sake. So all the open source or any software is built on top of certain framework. So it should be more about building and expanding that given framework rather than coming up with some kind of tool on top of that. The tool is already there, the ERP software. So on that given same lines, we should focus on more developing open source CRM, the CDP platforms, SCMs, VMS, WMS kind of things, rather than investing on tools which are already there, like the LibreOffice, Moodle, and sort of things. So that would be my take. I'm very new to the ecosystem, but that's what I would say, that if you are focusing on a enterprise solution, then the energy should be focused towards building more of the enterprise solutions and expanding the framework as a technical thing, not reinventing the stuff which is already there in the market, even if it is open source.
So before we do the next round, the current vote is 48% for new apps and 51%. Oh, now it just changed. So 51% for ERPNext. So ERPNext is leading.
Thank you.
Yeah, and let's make this like even more brutal. Like go for exactly what you mean, right? Don't. I would encourage this side.
It could be very brutal, but it may hurt the product owners. So
that's fine.
See, when we, as a developer myself, okay, so when we work on a product for a very long time, okay, we don't find things exciting. You know, it's the same old thing, new ideas don't come up, and these things happen. So the developers can relate to it, of course. So they are always the good engineers. Like you said, Frappe has tremendous talent. And if you have to retain the talent and you want to keep them motivated, you have to, give them that kind of a ground where they have that scope of showing their creativity. Okay. Sometimes things at the start look to be redundant, but when things happen, then it changes. So myself, like I said, when the things got disintegrated, the apps got disintegrated, I had that, sense where I felt like that ERPNext is not, or maybe it will, with this disintegration, the functionality is going out and it is not kind of integrated with ERPNext. So I myself did not try out with any of these new apps initially. But after today, I feel that we are coming on that track where they're kind of unified again. We are seeing all this Frappe framework features in the custom apps now. And even we are seeing there is extension to whatever was there in ERPNext. For example, we had these child tables which are not horizontally scrollable, right, in your desktop versions. But now we don't have any limitation on the number of columns you have in those tables. Because we have seen a lot of our customers, they wanted to see a lot of columns. We had that limitations of only 10 columns right now. But with these new apps, we see there is a lot of columns that you can add to it. And as many columns they want, they can add to it. Only thing was like adding the new custom fields to it. That kind of limitations were there. But they are going away. So that kind of features, when they are coming up in a new look and kind of integrated with ERPNext itself, then it is very promising. We will have to give that to the developers a chance to show up their creativity, show up their enhanced functionality to those modules. So that is kind of promising. So you should always let these new apps get that ground.
Thank you. I have a quick request. You can speak from there, or maybe everyone come closer and
Fight more.
no, no, no. Keep it short, 30 seconds. We'll wind this debate early. Keep it very short and crisp.
Yeah, so my thing is question, or if you can say, ERPNext is the only product in Frappe which actually really stands out from rest of the products. And just imagine having Jannat, Rushi, and all other developers, Saqib and Sharekh, Faris, in ERP, developing it where ERPNext would definitely reach. It would be massive. So I believe that there is a need to grow ERPNext. And I think what Aditya is doing is he's pushing the cloud and making ERPNext. So this is the type of ecosystem we need where things connect to each other properly, like the Frappe cloud really helps. Yeah, in fact, that is the reason, one of the reasons that ERPNext has grown. So such apps are definitely like Frappe, CRM and HR. So now they are getting connected. That is another thing. But the other apps, they are very redundant, I believe. And let me just give you one example before I end. Like we were having this beautiful Frappe builder being built. Okay, 2 years ago we were shown on screen that you will be having. Beautiful workflow builder. It was being built by Sharekh and it was amazing and we were very excited to have that. And next year it's announced Sharekh is working on CRM and the whole thing is now incomplete. So because the focus is lost, the ERPNext, the most unique product is using its real value and that's our USP. So I think we should focus on our USP. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I think that if all those very good programmers that you mentioned were working on ERPNext directly, all these awesome apps that you presented today would be like modules inside ERPNext. But the most of the people doesn't need the whole thing. Sometimes you just have our customers or the people just need one piece of the software. And for example, Frappe Insights. I'm having to go to Power BI or Metabase for a long time, and now I can do it on Frappe, and that's the phase of the data that is stored on the doc types in ERPNext. So I think it's a good thing that being able to have those pieces of software like separately, and ERPNext is gonna be the robust and the solid software it is. With the apps as well.
So how many of you attended yesterday's keynote? And what was new thing launched in ERPNext? Nothing. Like it's all stability. And so if you ask developers to work on a product which is only require maintenance versus another these new apps where they can break anything. So developers is obviously going to chase the exciting thing. They are not going to opt for maintenance mode project. So I think the comparison is wrong. Like maybe give a chance, like, hey, go and bring Frappe UI. So that new thing that you mentioned that which looks good, that's not about new apps. It's a Frappe UI. If you put Frappe UI in desk on ERPNext, it will also look nice.
Yeah. And one thing is like I believe Frappe should tell everybody to do moonlighting because it's ultimately we saw what we got from moonlighting. The ERPNext actually grew.
Thank you for saying our side. So 2 points I wanted to respond, like why there is already Moodle, there is already Nextcloud, there is already whatever, right? Why do it? I mean, they're terrible. I mean, you saw how Moodle was. I tried to use Nextcloud once. It was so terrible. We don't use it internally. I don't think there is any good mail server that you can probably use locally. So I mean, there are huge gaps. We do presentations on Keynote. Why? Why don't we have a good open source presentation tool? So there is so much opportunity. I don't buy the argument that all the apps are already there. And the second is like, why not work on exciting things? I mean, what is wrong about exciting things? Why do you want to always work on boring things? Yes, I think you have to have a balance in life of working on exciting and boring things. And I think the right balance in my view is 70-30. like 70% of the time you should work on exciting things, 30% on housekeeping and other activities. So yeah, that's what
I'll make 3 points. Point number 1 is ERPNext is the golden goose of Frappe. And if Frappe wants to keep doing what they are doing now, that is doing whatever they want, they need to keep ERPNext running. If that sits, then they won't have the funds to keep this stuff running. So that is point number 1, that is for Frappe. Point number 2 is for the audience here. How many of you are running your companies if you are implementers? And how many of you have come here because of ERPNext? Please, let's take a poll. So ERPNext is so important for you guys. Then go ahead and vote on the app. Vote for ERPNext. These custom apps are there, but they are not your daily driver, right? They are not your USP, or they are not something that you are leveraging for your business. So that is point number 2. And point number 3, regarding what Rishabh said, like Moodle and those are not those are not class softwares. So yesterday we got an example of Apple, right? How it made iPhone, how it made MacBooks, and very beautiful, awesome product. But if you see, did Apple manufacture every single thing from scratch? No. They had the design, they have their core product, but the processor, it's Intel. Now it's changed, but it was Intel. The motherboard, it's different. And batteries, it's different. The screen of an iPhone is made by Samsung, right? So I think what actually is required, Frappe has an awesome product. It has really good ERPNext. It needs to build integration with other open source, amazing softwares that can integrate seamlessly. And then we have an awesome product. And that should be a unique selling point for Frappe. Thank you.
Nice.
Cool. So
Yeah, let's make this one last. I think we started from that side, so this is the last.
fair enough. So poll from my side. How much time do you spend making custom print formats for the customers? How many of you do it, making custom print formats? Takes lots of time, right? And if there was a tool like Print Format Builder, would you like it? Right? So that's a separate application, by the way, right? It's not a core part of ERPNext. And that really helps as far as the moment there's an interoperability, I'm sorry, but once that is sorted, it becomes very functional, highly functional, and that we have already seen with the CRM today. And ERPNext is getting neglected. I think there's a point from Nasir. So it's an open source solution. If you feel it's getting neglected, you can step up. It's completely yours. And we have great example right here, right? The India compliance guys. If you think there was no update on the ERPNext side, these guys are great example. They're doing terrific work with India compliance. And they can do it much better because they are domain experts. So do you want domain expert to work for you, or you want the BCom guys to work for you? And that expertise is always possible because they have complete ownership. So I think that's add to the ERPNext side. Yeah, and that's it for my side.
Okay, let's look at the results. Very close call. Okay, but make it quick. Okay.
So there was a very good point, like the workflow builder kind of thing. So yeah, having utilities to support your ERP and the organization's workflows is really good. But until you have not matured on a different level, what is your main focus? That is ERPNext. To invest into building, supporting utilities, it's good. I'm not completely against of that. But there's so much of work remaining in the ERP side itself, like the IoT stuff and kind of things, which can still be where we can put our energy and build a much better ERP software. I would close with that.
I think the topic should have been new apps with ERPNext, because it is with ERPNext. It's not versus ERPNext. Okay. So, and second thing is, Apple is known for taking out legacy components. You know, they were the first ones to get rid of USB CD drives and all. So,
Wow, something just happened. New apps is suddenly at 63%. Oh, this happened even yesterday. So some issue Telegram has. Okay, so it's 53.
I think a focus is very important as an organization as to in which direction we want to go. Definitely that is there for Frappe as well. Not saying it's not there. But you know, when it's 1 plus 1, it's 3. Someone said yesterday. So the focus should be more on, you know, perfecting 1 or 2 good apps in collaboration with ERPNext before, you know, switching to or adding to 1 or 2 more good products out there. So because, you know, this will, what I realized today here is that many people come over here are either developers themselves or, you know, partners, and very, very few customers take interest to come here at conference. And this will drastically change if we have a laser focus in improving, you know, 1 or 2 good products out there.
Yeah, let's find. So we have a winner. New apps win by exactly 3%. Same like yesterday.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we can move to closing.
Yeah, let's move to closing. Thanks
so-
everyone for volunteering. Thanks.